Okay guys, this is going to be an installation video for a bridge doctor. As you can see here, this guitar has it installed. You can see here the brass pins provide the pegs for the guitar. I'm not sure how clear it may be, but it is definitely inside of here. If anything, I will submit a picture, for the picture. So just some background as to why you may want it. This guitar is tuned to standard tuning. So no issues. Usually when you have 12 strings, there's a lot of tension. There will be instances where, so again, you can't really see it though. There may be a bump here. It may not be difficult to see on camera, but essentially once the installation of the bridge doctor takes it away, sometimes there's such a big lump here, or the bridge breaks away because it's not supported enough for the 12 strings. As you can see, this does not have it installed. This is the installation we'll be doing. And to combat this, oftentimes people will tune it to D standard. And as you can tell, it's a little bit deeper. What people usually end up doing is putting the cable here on the second fret. That way you have your E standard right here. And of course, that means a cable. So just some background as to why you may want to install it. You don't really want to play with the cable all the time. Or sometimes, let's say the artist puts, the cable down here, then you're missing a whole 2 frets. So. Okay. So this is going to be mostly like an item list here. This is actually the Dario Pro tool winder. It has multiple things included in there. Have some lemon oil for the fretboard for when you are changing out the strings. Have 2 sets of strings. We have 2 sets because we're doing a 12 string. Then you have a T30. This is going to be for the tension screw in the bridge doctor. T30, you can really use any Allen key or anything that it's instructed in there. This is the bridge doctor. An Allen key for the guitar itself, and a microfiber cloth. Some things not listed here are also a sandpaper and some sort of cutting tool. So here I simply just remove the strings, remove the pegs, and gonna get rid of these strings on top. Not really showing this. I mean, you can get the strings out however you would like. The point is to have a clean guitar for this installation. So here we're just prepping everything, looking everything down, making sure everything's clean. So of course, if you have already done these kind of steps, you can do this at your own discretion. Right now I'm just gonna apply some lemon oil. I usually go 2-3 times. I'm just showing you once. Again, this is just some upkeep for your guitar here that you should really do before we begin to install everything. So you can see there, it's nice and soaked up. I'm gonna go in there with a microfiber cloth, and again, usually I do this 2-3 times depending on the gunk and everything. I get the headstock, I get the body, all around the bridge, everything. So there, I just use it on the body, the microfiber cloth. Might want to remove the bridge, clean up everything before we get started. So after this part, we're gonna get started here with the installation of the bridge doctor. And here you can see I'm showing the bridge doctor, how it will be placed, how the T30 works in installing and removing the tension screw. Right now I'm prepping it basically by removing the screw, because we're gonna need to insert the wooden dowel. So get whatever you have, an Allen key, a T30, This is to ensure that you're gonna use the slotted or cut side to insert it. Okay, this is just a sample. Actually, this is actually this is the right orientation. So this is the correct orientation. You're gonna insert the dowel side into the bridge doctor. You want to make sure the flat side is facing you or facing the guitar hole. We'll get more into detail after. So again, you can see here the dowel, and this is just kind of showing you the technique of how we're going to be installing it. You kind of need two hands for this part. I'm not going to go into grave detail or anything of that nature. So here I'm just maneuvering. This is something maybe you can practice, get used to. Again, this is just a practice. You're gonna align the top of the screw to the plastic insert piece that was showed before. And the reason for this is just to get used to the motion and everything of that nature. As you can see here, having trouble. This is what you will be going through. So I won't really cover this step in the future once you're installing all the brass pins, all the bridge doctor, things of that nature. But there you go, just so you can get the feel for it. You can see there one pin is installed. And you can see here the motion. You can see again, not the flat side. The flat side will be facing the sound hole. This is the side that will be inserted, the side that is cut almost to like a cone shape. I'm gonna insert that through the hole. Again, this is just mainly showing the process, how tedious it can be. It's not gonna be as short as what is shown. You know, the video is gonna become choppy. And you can see here, this is how we're gonna check it. You're gonna have to insert your phone and check the alignment of everything before you make a cut. Alright, this is very important. Use your phone, use whatever tools you have at your disposal. You cannot see with your bare eyes. Once you have it in the middle, get everything comfy, you're gonna use a pencil and mark the dowel. Okay, you can see here nothing's loose. You see it just moved. It's moving, but as long as you get the mark, it doesn't have to be super exact, super clean. But as long as you get a mark, that's the distance that you need. And the instructions say 3/8 inches is where you're gonna cut. So you wanna cut it almost. You're gonna want to cut it more than what it is, right? Because you want to save that space for the tension screw, right? So you're gonna cut it, reducing the size, not increasing. So you're gonna reduce the size of the dowel. Now I have a sample here that I've cut in the past as we've done the install. Again, it doesn't not have to be perfect. The tension screw will have some space to travel. Right now I'm using a dial caliper, which is also something that it didn't list. I guess you need something to measure. So once you go ahead, just confirming it's about 3/8, you can see it, dial caliper is dying. And this is explaining the reason why I picked the slot. Basically, you want to pick the string slot that is about half of your bridge. So you can see here 78 is about half, because the bridge on this guitar is 156. Right here, just showing how I cut it. I mean, I used a serrated knife. It doesn't have to be super exact because we're gonna sand it down soon. So what you're gonna want to do is grab that sandpaper, start sanding it down until it's flat, as flat as possible. You can see here it's very slanted, very jagged, and then by here fairly straight, pretty straight, really good to use, no bumps, anything like that. So we're just gonna go ahead, and now this is gonna be the formal installation. We're gonna install the brass pins. You're gonna make sure they're aligned and you pick the correct pin for the position that you chose. You can see here they're and E to E, so EADGBE, from left to right. You can kind of see the whole sizes. This is a lot easier in person. And I removed the washer from the one that I'm going to be using, right? I'm going to be using it, installing it into that plastic insert right there. So that's this, selection I picked for that purpose. And as you can see here, just showing the install one last time. So there you go. This is the exact orientation it's going to be in. And you're gonna fish that screw in, and you're gonna dig it into that plastic piece. All right, and then in here you're gonna insert the dowel that you just cut, and you're gonna put the tension screw in after. So here we are. Here, have some practice fishing out and everything. Alright, then you're going to bring your cut dowel, and again, you're going to use the cone shape, and you're going to use that cone shape and insert it. You are not going to insert the flat side that you cut. Okay, it's going to be the cone sided shape. You're going to insert it into that slot that you made, and you're going to fish it through. You're going to align it as close to the center of that wooden block, that supporting member in the middle of the guitar, as possible, before you tension anything, before anything is done, etc. So right here it shows how improper positioning, and then I'm just gonna try to shift it over, and here shows proper positioning. Okay, right in the middle. Again, you may need your phone to do this. You have to check it right there. Perfect example. Drop the tension screw, but you're gonna want to bring in the tension screw now once everything is in place. And that just shows how kind of small it is. It's a little bit, I believe, greater than the 3/8 that you cut. You can see there I was managed to get it in, and before I formally tighten it, I'm trying to make sure it's perfectly in the center as possible, maneuvering it slowly, looking at the feedback with the iPhone. It's a back and forth process. Here I'm tightening it. Here you can see I'm pretty much happy with the position and location it's in. You can see that the opening for the string is facing you. This is another key thing. You would want to make it face you as much as possible. Tension will fix it, but it's a bit difficult. And I'm gonna install the rest of them. Just gonna remove the washer and maneuver your hand in there. Maybe a bit tough, and this is why you want the bridge doctor to be tightened. You don't want to be putting your hand in there before you have all these other ones installed, because it's gonna make it a lot tougher. So you're just gonna go in there, remove all the washers, the wing nuts, put your hand in there and just install it like a regular screw. Here you can see the final product. You don't want to make it as tight as possible, while also maintaining some sort of tension and the strings facing you. See here, I'm really struggling to see if everything's pretty much okay, which it is. You can see there everything's perfectly in the middle. The tension is to my liking. Alright, and now it's gonna just be a pretty easy setup where you just string your instrument. If this is a 6-string instrument, you would use all the pegs, but I'm trying to reduce tension, so I'm only using 4 of them. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, the client asked for 6 on this one. I think later they changed their mind, because it adds a lot of tension to this 12-string guitar. So again, all of it's facing one way. This is pretty much you just ring string your guitar like normal. I would recommend keeping it in D standard for like a day. Seeing how your guitar reacts to the tension, you will need to adjust the tension rod or the bridge doctor itself, depending on how it acts, and then keep it on standard for a day as well. As you can see there, that's the Allen key. So all in all, hopefully this has been concise. Please like and subscribe.